2 months. 2 months we have to complete. Okay, we will start the lecture. Okay, now what I'll do is first I will share the screen and I will show you the syllabus. Okay, can you see the screen? Okay. So in this particular semester you have two subjects which are core in business analytics. The first is advanced statistical methods using R. Okay, and the second one is uh, machine learning and cognitive intelligence using Python. Okay, these two subjects are there. So in this advanced statistical methods using R, so this is a 3 credit subject. Okay, the first we have already studied, in which we have learned about what are different basic things, what are different data types, arrays, matrices, okay, and all. Now this is next advanced version, or we can say advanced business analytics, which in which we are primarily going to study different statistical methods, how we can make use of different statistical methods using R. Okay, so in this particularly you can see the syllabus here is here, statistics with R, right? So in statistics with R, uh, computing what is hypothesis, how we can use R programming for hypothesis testing. Okay, then how we can make use of regression, T test, Z test, then ANOVA test, okay, two-way ANOVA test, all these different types of test, how we can perform using the R that we are going to study. Then in statistics there are few concepts like regression analysis is there, or multiple regression analysis, logistics regression analysis. Okay, so this we are going to study the concept of regression, but using R programming, how we can perform the linear regression, multiple regression, and logistic regression. Okay, and then we are also going to study the probability concept and discriminant analysis techniques, how we can draw different types of plots. Okay, few of the basic we have already studied, like mean, median, mode, but as we are going to begin with the basic statistics, we will revise few concepts like mean, median, mode, standard deviation, how we can calculate, and then we will move on to the studying the hypothesis concept. Because once you know the hypothesis concept, how what are different types of hypothesis, like there is a null hypothesis and alternate hypothesis, what is bell shaped curve, and how we uh, you know calculate the significance level on the on the basis of significance level, how we can prove or disprove the hypothesis that we are going to study. Because all these tests, whether we perform regression analysis, logistic regression, multiple regression, t test, f test, whatever the test that we do, we interpret the result in terms of significance level, in terms of hypothesis and the confidence interval. So few concepts we have to first study in basics, and then you will be able to interpret the result of your calculations. Okay, so this is your R advanced, and then in Python you have machine learning and cognitive intelligence using Python. So some theory part is there, and along with theory part, then the Python programming is also there. Okay, so in Python programming, uh, basic syntax, variable types, operators, loops, tuples and list, how we can, what are different data types in Python that we are going to study, and then how we can work with data in Python, like loading, writing into file. Okay. How we can use arrays. So in Python there is arrays that is called as numpy. So that we are going to study the numpy. Okay, and then the few things which related to machine learning, like what is machine learning, what is supervised learning, what is unsupervised learning, and different clustering methods, multivariate analysis, like logistic regression and decision tree. These concepts we are going to study, crisp methodology, and then clustering techniques in unsupervised learning. So 50% is the part of theory and 50% is the part of programming. Okay, so Python is very easy actually, as compared to other programming languages. Okay, simple uh, words, keywords are there for execution of the instructions, right? So these two are the external subjects, university subjects. Okay. Now apart from this, there are other subjects also, like social media and web and text analytics. Okay, this is internal subject. So this is taken by some other faculty, right? IoT is there, industrial internet of things, industrial IoT, supply chain analytics is also there, right? So few are there, not all are there, because you have to select from these subjects. So whichever the faculty, they will select and will tell you which subjects are there for you in this semester. Okay, so we'll move on to the first topic, that is statistics with R. Okay, now when we talk about the statistics, yes, we know that in statistics the basic concepts are there, few basic concepts in the statistics are there. Okay, like the basics of statistics, it includes calculation of mean, median and mode. Okay, so mean, median and mode, we are going to study how we can calculate the mean, median and mode. Can you see this tutorialspoint.com, this website is there. I already, yeah, so you can go through this, you get a number of examples and syntax also on this website. Okay, so for calculation of mean, the syntax is very easy. Just mean function you have to use, and then in the mean function you have to give the name of the variable or the input vector. Okay, so you can see, can you see the highlight? I am highlighting the text. Can you see the text that I am highlighting? Yeah, okay. So now the syntax is that mean in bracket x comma trim 0 comma na dot norm is equal to false. Now what is the meaning of this syntax? X is mean is the function, okay, the basic function using which we calculate the mean. X is nothing but the input vector. Okay, so first we have to define the vector x and we have to enter the values. Okay, and then that is nothing but your input vector x, numeric vector. Then trim. Okay, now what is trim function? Trim means cut. Okay, the meaning of trim is cut. So trim is used to drop some observations from both ends of this sorted vector. Suppose for example there are 10 values in the vector. Okay, so when I say trim is equal to 0.3, okay, then it means that it will trim first three values from the right side and last three values from the left side. So right side and left side, three values will be trimmed and then the mean will be calculated. So trim function is just to remove the observations, specific observations from your vector. Okay, so that is the trim function. Then NARM is used to remove the missing values from the input vector. Suppose whenever you are let's say entering some values in the input vector x, Okay, but for some data, if some values are missing, okay, not for, like for example, you are entering height and weight and some data like that. So few of the variables, suppose if you don't have the data available with you, height or weight is missing. So in that case, if you specify this particular NARM is equal to false, then it will automatically remove the missing values, and then it will only consider the values which are there in the input vector. Okay, so even if you don't write this any dot norm, this particular attribute, it is okay. Okay, so mainly we use only mean and then the name of the vector. Okay, so let us see the example. Here there is a vector. Okay, so how do we define the vector is x, and then this assignment operator is there, which is like less than sign. Okay, so x is nothing but the vector, and c is the function that we use to define the vector. Okay, so using this c function, we define x as a vector. Okay, and then these are the values: 12, 7, 3, 4.2, 18, 2, 54, -21, 8 and -5. Okay, so these are the values in the x, and then we have to simply use the function mean. Okay, now here one variable is defined, that is result dot mean. Okay, which store the value of mean. So mean x is the function, and that mean x value will be calculated using this mean x, and then it will be stored in sorry, it will be stored in the variable result dot mean, whatever the value, and then using the print function we are printing the result. Okay, now let us see how we can execute this. So the R programming, yes, window, you might have installed R Studio. So this is, yeah, this is our R Studio window. Okay, now this is the console. Okay, which is where you have to do the programming, and then on the right hand side you can see all the plots packages. If you have a plot to draw, you can draw it here, and there are different packages like the library function. If you want to include specific library function, you can use it. And then in the history you can see all whatever the uh, we can say whatever the previous instructions that we have executed, you can see it in the history. Okay, so this we have already taken, I suppose, right? Many of the function you can see here, these are various functions which we have already executed, right? So now this is the, yeah, now this is the variable. We are defining the vector x, and it consists of different values. Now let's say I am adding more values. Okay, so this is the x numeric vector. This we have already defined the vector, and now we use the function mean. So you have to simply use mean, and then in bracket x. Okay, so now it will give me the value of mean, that is 9.48. This is the average. Okay, now if I, instead of directly using the mean function, I can also define a variable and store the value of mean in that variable. So like this, result dot mean, that I am storing, and then I am using the mean of x, right? Result dot mean, and now print in bracket result dot mean. Okay, so it is also giving me the same result, that is 9.48. Okay, so this is how you calculate mean. Then the next measure of your statistics is okay. Before that, let us see how we can use the trim function. Okay, now as you can see in this particular space here, x mean, then in bracket x is there, and then comma trim is equal to 0.3. So it means that three values are this will trim three values each from each end. Okay, like from the right hand side, three values, that is 12 7 3 will be omitted, and from the left hand side 12 7 3, and from the right hand side minus 21 8 and minus 5 will be removed. Okay, and then it will calculate the mean. Okay, so let us see how we can execute this. Okay, so mean in bracket x trim is equal to 0.3, right? And now we will calculate mean. No, mean we have already calculated, and result we are storing. So let us print the result now. Print result dot mean. Okay, so now it will remove first three values and last three values, and now the mean is 8.457143, right? So this is how it will trim the values from both the ends, and then it will print the result, right? So this is trim. Then the next is how we can calculate median. Okay, now what is median? Median is nothing but the value which is, just a moment. The median is the middlemost value in the data series. So whatever the value that lie exactly at the middle of the range, that is nothing but called as the median value. Okay, so the syntax is median, and then in bracket just so median in bracket x, and then this na dot rm is equal to false. Okay, so x is again the variable vector that you can see here. So let us see how we can execute. The vector is we have already defined, so simply use the median function. So median, and then in bracket x, right? So now it is giving me the median value is 8. Okay, so 8 is nothing but the value which lie exactly in the middle of the range. Say for example 1 2 sorry 1 2 3 4 5 and 6 values are there on the right hand side, and also 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Okay, we have used trim function. Just a moment, I will once again take this particular vector, will execute median in bracket x. Median in bracket x. Okay, 5.6 is the median. 1 2 3. Okay, so median is nothing but the value which lie exactly at the middle of the range, right? So that is why it is nothing but the average. It is called as the one of the important average. Okay, the middle most value in the data series is called the median, right? Then the next is we have mode function. Okay, how do we calculate the mode function? So like we for mean and median, there is a proper function like mean and median. Okay, there is a proper function that we use. The keyword mean and median is there, but for calculation of mode, there is no such specific function or instruction. So you have to write a code. Okay, 3 4 instructions and the unique function that you have to use for calculation of the mode. Okay, so here is the create mode function is there. Okay, so get mode is the variable which we are storing to store the value of mode. Okay, and then we are creating a function, and in that function we are using the unique attribute for identifying the values. So what is the what we can say the meaning of each and every value that we will study. Okay, so let me show you one of my videos in which I have explained about how we can calculate the mode. Just a moment. Just a moment. Okay, say for example, what is mode? Mode is nothing but the highest times occurring data point in the data set. Okay, so if you have the age of workers like this. Okay, so in this particular observation, say 18 20 50 55 56 57. Okay, so this is nothing but the values. Okay, these are the values. So 57 is the number that has occurred maximum number of times. Okay, 4 times it has occurred: 57 57 57 57. Okay, so if whenever you arrange the data in the ascending or descending order, then the number which has occurred maximum number of times, it is called as the mode. Okay, so how do we calculate that we will study? Yeah, so there is this, can you see the screen, the function we have defined? Okay, yeah, so the function we have here in this case, we have defined a function that is called as workage. Okay, now in that workage we have wrote certain few attributes are there. Say for example, unique. Okay, so unique in the bracket workage. So what is the meaning of unique attribute? It creates a set of unique numbers from the data set. In the above example, unique numbers are the numbers which are non which have occurred, which has a occurrence. Okay, so we remove the repetitive occurrence and also only take the unique values. So 18 20 22 23 sorry 35 36 37 38 40 45 47 50 54 55 56 57. So though 57 has occurred 4 times, we have considered only the unique value of that 57. So 57, 58 and 66. So these are the unique numbers which have occurred. Then the next attribute that we have used here is match. Okay, match in bracket workage and then data set. So what is the match function? The use of match function is that it matches the numbers between the ones in the data set and the unique number set we have got, and provide the position of each unique number in the original data set. So it help us, this match function, it basically helps us in matching the numbers that are there in the data set with these unique numbers. Okay, and it will compare how many times whether it is matching and how many times it has matched. Okay, so that match function will help in finding out how many times it is matching. Then the next attribute is tabulate. Okay, so tabulate function, it basically returns the number of times each unique number is occurring in the data set. Suppose a 57, 57 is matching. So how many times it is matching? It will be tabulated using tabulate function. Okay, so tabulate function, it will return the number of times that number is matching with the data set once in the data set. And then the last is that function which dot max. Okay, so max, as the number indicates, it returns the position of maximum times any number has matched. Say for example 54 number has matched 3 times, 57 number has matched 4 times, like that. So which number is matching maximum times, that will be calculated using the which dot max function. Okay, so by using this certain various functions, we can calculate the mode. Okay, so let us see the example here. It is the window. Yes, see, this is the set of instruction, the code function. Okay, function is there, and then we have defined here the values unique v. Okay, and in unique which dot max, tabulate, then match, and then v comma unique v. So this is the variable that we have defined which is storing the unique values. Okay, so this is the function. In function, see, this is the opening of function and this is the closing braces, and in that we have written this 2-line code. Okay, so let us now execute this set of code. So get mode function we have defined, and now have we have to define a vector. So here let's say we are defining a vector v, because in this we have created a function and we have taken the input vector as v in this case. So we have to take the same variable here. V is the numeric vector we have defined, right? So we have defined, and now we will print the result. So get mode is there, get mode is the function, so we will print in bracket get mode. Okay, and see the, okay, print get mode. Okay, so it is actually pasting the get mode value. Okay, what is there in the get mode? So in the get mode we have the print function. Okay, so we have to store it in the, we have to store the value in the some result vector. So result in result we are storing the value of get mode, and then in bracket v get mode, we are passing on get mode v vector v, right? So result, and now we will print the result. First we are storing the value in the result. Okay, and then now we are printing the result. So the result here is 2. Okay, because 2 has occurred 1 time, 2 time, 3 time and 4 times. whereas 1 has occurred 1 time, 2 time, and only 3 times. Also 3 has occurred 1 time, 2 time, 3 time, and 4 time. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And 2 has occurred 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, 2 has also occurred 4 times and 3 has also occurred 4 times, but it is giving only the result as 2. When we execute the above code, it produces the following result: 2, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Why not it is printing 3 also? Na? It should print, because 3 has also occurred 1 time, 2 time, 3 time, and 4 time. Yeah, result get mode B. Okay, now print result. It is showing 3, but then let's see why it is not showing me. It is taking only the first occurrence of the number, and it is not considering the second occurrence of the number. ठीक है, I'll see. So this is how you calculate mean, median, and mode, right? Now, apart from this mean, median, and mode, you can also calculate the range. Okay, range is also the statistical measure. So in the range, suppose V is the vector that we have defined here, right? So if we want to find out the range, how we calculate the range? Yes, suppose a vector is there, a numeric vector is there, right? This is the numeric vector. Now if I wanted to calculate the range of this data, means what? Means what? If you want to calculate the range, means what is the maximum, what is the maximum value and what is the minimum value. Okay, that is nothing but the range. Okay, so the minimum value is, in this case, is 1, right? And the maximum value in this case is 5. Okay, so it is giving me the minimum value, that is the lowest value, that is 1, and the maximum value, that is 5. That is nothing but called as range. Okay, then the next measure of statistics is nothing but called as standard deviation. Okay, so what is standard deviation? Standard deviation means, suppose if you have a data set and if you have the numbers. Okay, so generally the numbers, they vary. Okay, I'll show you. If there is a whiteboard, I'll share. This is your email ID. Hello, where is the Jamboard? Huh. Okay, yes, can you see this Jamboard? Yes, can you see the Jamboard? Yeah, yeah. So when you have the data, say for example, these are your observations: 2, 4, then suppose 5, then 4, 3. Why it is disappearing? Okay, then let's say 6 is there, 7 is there, like this. If you have certain set of numbers, okay, so 2, then let's say again 4 is there, then 2 is there, then 1 is there, like that. Okay, so if you plot the numbers, you will get the graph something like this. Okay, 6, 7, 4, 3, 2, like that. So if you try to draw, it will be the graph like this. So it is nothing but called as a bell shaped curve. Okay, this is nothing but called as bell shaped curve. You might have seen this bell shaped curve is there. Okay, in statistics you might have seen such diagrams. Bell shaped curves are there. Okay, yeah. So whenever we talk about standard deviation, okay, we are talking about standard deviation. So in standard deviation, what happens? This is nothing, there is a average. Okay, so x bar is nothing but we calculate the average. So average of these numbers will be somewhere around 3 or 4, like that. Okay, so these average, we once we calculate, then the standard deviation is nothing but the deviation or difference from the mean. What is the deviation from the average? Okay, suppose the average is 4. So what is the deviation from the average? These points are not at the same point, right? These are at different points. So the deviation or difference from the average is calculated using the term standard deviation. Okay, standard deviation is nothing but the deviation or difference from the average. That is what we define the SD. So how do we calculate SD? How do we calculate SD is we have to use the function SD, and then in bracket you give the name of the variable, that is x. Okay, so in this case now the deviation is 19.20. Okay, so there is a formula. If you calculate the standard deviation properly using the formula, okay, uh, then it is nothing but the difference, the square root of difference in the values from the average. That is what is the how we calculate the standard deviation. So its value is 19.20057, or SD of, let's say, V. Now V is the variable. Let us calculate for variable V what is the standard deviation. So it is 1.37. Okay, so 1.37 is the standard deviation, not much. Okay, less amount of standard deviation. It shows more consistency in the result. So always the value of standard deviation should be less. Okay, so that is nothing but the how we calculate the standard deviation. Yes, right. So I think that's these are nothing but the basic. Just a moment, let me just check if we have any more variable. This, Yes, range and this we have already studied, right? So I think we are done with today's this thing. Okay, mean, median, and basic statistics. Now, in next lecture, what we will do is we will study the hypothesis, the basic concepts of hypothesis. Okay, we'll try to first study what is hypothesis, and then what are different types of hypothesis, and then how we reject or accept the null hypothesis, what is alternative hypothesis. Because unless and until we understand this, we will not be able to interpret the test result, t test, z test, f test, whatever we are uh, doing the calculation, that we won't be able to understand. Okay, so we will study, and simultaneously we have python also. So again, that we will start, right? So we are waiting for the circular actually for the of the university, है ना, when the lectures are going to begin.